Hi everybody out there, it's Tim Derling. This is Tim's Vinyl Confessions, and I want to thank everybody for watching. On today's episode, it's always fun to do a cassette episode. It's always fun talking about The Darkness because they're just a fun band. It's just one of my favorite modern bands, quasi-modern bands. But before I do that, I do want to get into something else. As you've seen, if you've been following me on socials, I have merch to sell now. Very excited, and it's very, very good merch, I'm happy to say. TeePublic, the same company that the Contrarians uses for their merchandise, and also Mike Ladano, Grab a Stack of Rock. Check both of those out, and they've got some cool designs. But yeah, go to teepublic.com, search for Tim's Vinyl Confessions or TVC. You can, it's not just clothes. You know, if you say, oh, I don't need any more t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got tank tops. Got coffee mugs, got travel mugs, we have stickers, we even have pillows, and a lot of different designs. So we've got the basic Tim's Vinyl Confessions logo shirt, we've got the 8-track design from the Unspooled book. Great way to show your support for the channel, and it's high quality. They're good quality shirts too, so I'm really happy to have teamed up with TeePublic on that. So yeah, I really appreciate everybody that's purchased so far. Right now, we're going to show you a little collage of some of the purchases and people that have already bought TVC merch. And thanks to everybody that's supported so far. If I've missed somebody, I'm sorry. When a little secret about TeePublic, all they do is you get an email saying you got a sale, you've made a sale. They don't tell you who's bought it. So unless you say, hey, if you reach out and say, hey Tim, I bought a shirt, a lot of people have done that. I don't know who's buying them, but thanks to you all. And yeah, just go to teepublic.com. If you want the exact link, it's actually teepublic.com/user/Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Not that difficult. But after a few weeks of being on there, we are searchable now. So yeah, TVC merch is available. Great way to support the channel, great way to update your wardrobe, and who doesn't need another coffee mug, right? And constantly adding, we're thinking about new designs. Matt and I go over ideas all the time, going back and forth. I like this, I don't like that, I think it should be that color, this color is too dark, it's too light. So keep an eye on things. If you don't see anything that catches your eye right now, keep an eye on it. We may have the one, yeah, that's the one. So anyway, I'm getting into this episode now. I did an episode where I went through my cassette collection of The Darkness when I only had 3, and I've got, well, twice that now. So The Darkness are definitely my favorite post-2000 band. This is not a group made up of ex-members of this band or that band. They were, a young band starting out, and I've followed them almost since the beginning. I got into them with the first run of the first album. So, and most of their albums have come out on cassette, which I just think is so cool. So I'm going to go over what I have. Of course, the big one is the debut album, 2003, Permission to Land. This is actually an unopened copy on Atlantic Records. It's from Indonesia. See, in a similar fashion to how 8-tracks were manufactured later on into the 80s than people might have thought, via the record clubs, cassettes were manufactured longer into the 2000s than people in North America might have thought. Cassettes sort of did die off, really die off around 99, 2000. in some cases 2001, but till about 2006, 2007, in certain parts of the world, you could still get them. So yeah, so there's Permission to Land on cassette. Second one is the only one that I have that's opened. One-way ticket to hell and back. Another Atlantic cassette. This one's also from Indonesia, so they must have wanted their cassettes longer. So that's what the cassette looks like. That's what a 2005 cassette looks like. And unlike most cassettes, the J card, well, it's actually more of a C card. Goes all the way around and folds out. You know, it's got all the lyrics and all the credits and everything, and I didn't fold it out all the way because it's like some CD booklets. Sometimes it's hard to get it back in right. And the first one that came out, so as far as I know, there's no cassette for Hotcakes and there's no cassette for Last of Our Kind. It'd be really cool if they put them out on cassette. I pretty much have to get them. But 2017, this is back when Pledge Music was still a thing. And Matt and I did a review episode on this when it came out. Pinewood Smile, 2017. This is a really fun album. I really like this one. And this is the cassette version that came out. Not opening it. There is no need. They followed that up with a live album, live at Hammersmith. Now the CD and vinyl look one way, but the cassette looks way different. I think they tried to make it look unofficial and like bootleggy. So I kind of like this. This is actually the very last thing that I bought off of Pledge Music before Pledge Music went under. And I know Queensryche were caught up in that too, unfortunately. But yeah, this great live album, by the way. I wish they'd put it out on DVD or Blu-ray. 2019, another episode or another album we did a review of, Easter is Cancelled. There's the cassette there. Quite dark printing. That's one thing I would have fixed. I do like the way the logo looks on here though. And 2021, my album of the year for that year, Motorheart on cassette with a hype sticker. I love this stuff. And as far as I know, they're working on new music. Like they just keep pumping them out. If you thought they stopped after the first two major label releases, do yourself a favor and check out what they've done. My opinion, they haven't put out a bad record. My least favorite is probably Hotcakes, but it's still good. I just don't find it as memorable. This year, of course, marks the 20th anniversary, believe it or not, of this album here, Permission to Land. So I think that they're doing a deluxe package of that. Maybe we'll finally see good version or good release versions of the many B-sides that they do. Hopefully, like there's at least an album's worth of B-sides. And even if you're not really a Darkness fan, because I understand, you know, Justin Hawkins' voice isn't for everybody. I happen to love it, but it's an acquired taste. But if you're just a music fan, I would recommend checking out his YouTube channel, which has really taken off and taken on a life of its own. It's called Justin Hawkins Rides Again. He's talked to a ton of people. He gives a musician's perspective on songwriting and songs and what's good and what's bad. And he's very complimentary. He's not really out to slag anything. I like to put it down. But yeah, great content on that channel. So yeah, check that out. And of course, you know, keep an eye on what they're doing because they're probably going to be putting out a new album this year. I don't know that for sure, but you know, it certainly seems like they've been on a 2-year cycle, which is great. They've been on a 2-year cycle since 2015, which is great. You never wait long for new music from them, and it's pretty good when it comes out. And this year, by the way, there are so many of my favorite bands putting out new music, and in some cases, a couple cases in particular, that haven't put out new music in years. So be on the lookout for some upcoming reviews on that. So I got a concert episode coming up to talk to you about. Pretty excited about that. But if you're a Darkness fan, have you got these on cassette? Am I missing anything? Did they put anything? Did they slip anything out there on cassette that I didn't get to? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, TVC merch available at TeePublic. Thank you everyone for watching Tim's Final Confessions.